Hello viewers, and welcome to Mystères de l'Histoire. This is Pete, and this is episode 5. In today's episode, we will talk about the Great Migration of the Visigoths that took place around the year 400, at the end of the Roman imperial era, because, and you now know this perfectly, Rome was an empire after being a republic. The Visigoths first appear in history around the year 376, when they crossed the Danube River. This expedition lasts days and nights. Tens, hundreds of thousands of men, women and children cross the great river to the south. They flee the threat of the Huns and seek refuge in the Roman Empire. The Visigoths have two kings, Alaviv and Fritigern. Another king, Athaulf, goes north to take position in the mountainous fortress of the Carpathians. He remained pagan, while Alaviv had converted to the message of the Goth bishop Ulfila. He is an Arian Christian. The Visigoths kings asked permission from the Roman Emperor Valens to cross the Danube and cultivate the land south of the great river. Permission granted. The migration takes place, but unfortunately, the peace with the Romans is short-lived. Their cruelty and exploitation of their Visigoth allies soon makes the position untenable, and fierce fighting takes place that leads to the death of the emperor in battle at Adrianopolis. At Alaviv's death, his son Alaric becomes king. He also has a tense relationship with the Roman authorities. Both allied in combat, but also always frustrated by the lack of recognition from the Romans for his people. He finally decides to take up arms and descends from the Danube Delta, which lies in present-day Romania on the shores of the Black Sea. He goes on to sack Athens and the whole Greek peninsula, and then veers back northwards with his warriors and riders to enter Italy through the Alpine passes of the Veneto. From northern Italy he threatens Rome, which he puts to siege in 410 and then sacks, seizing its treasures before descending further south, in Calabria towards Sicily and Africa. Remember our episode 1 and Carthage. He dies of a malarial fever and is buried with treasures under the Busento River in Calabria. His brother-in-law, Athaulf, Count of the Horsemen, then takes over the Visigoth crown and decides not to continue to Africa. Not unlike Hannibal, following a route that is curiously similar in reverse to that adopted by the Carthaginian chief and his war elephants to attack Rome, he sets out westwards for Gaul and crosses the Alps. In 412 he seizes Valence, where the Gallic usurper Jovan had taken refuge, and enters into an alliance with the Romans, the Western Emperor being the brother of his new wife, Gallia Placida. In exchange he obtains the lands of Aquitaine and of Septimania, as well as Tolosa for his domain. His lands also extend beyond the Pyrenees in Hispania, and include Barcelona, where he soon dies murdered with his son, potential future heir to the imperial throne. Another brother-in-law, Wallia, will succeed him as king and will be the founder of the kingly Visigoth dynasty of Spain. So, my dear friends, what are we to make of these Visigoths and of their sack of Rome after 800 years of inviolability and conquests? What priceless treasures have they seized from the Eternal City? How much did they bury under the Busanto in Calabria with their dead king? And how many others went on to cross the Alps towards Spain? With perhaps among them, and why not, utensils and treasures taken from the ancient temple of Jerusalem, destroyed by Titus. And I can't help but notice the strange coincidence between Hannibal's journey and that of Alaric and Athaulf. The Wisigoths asked them to reach Africa and Carthage, and then this change of destination and a crossing of the Alps in reverse towards Spain. Could this really just be a coincidence? Let me now thank you, and wish for us to meet again soon for a new episode of Les Mystères de l'Histoire. This is just the beginning. Cartago, Delenda, Est.